What is happening, guys? It's Spruce Goose here, and today we're doing some testing to find out if Madden is just like the dating apps, where being taller is pretty much always better. Dang it. Alright guys, so about a year ago, one of the first things I ever uploaded to this channel was a video where I did some speed testing, testing players of 3 different heights to see if height had any effects on that player's top speed. Now in this video, I am recreating that experiment as well as another experiment, and I want to share those results with you right now because I think they're pretty interesting. So the setup for this experiment is I created 3 custom players and I named them short, normal, and tall. And the short player is 5'5", the shortest height that Madden will let you create a player. Our normal guy is 6'2", and our tall guy is 7'0", the tallest height that Madden will let you create a player. Now, all of these players have their speeds, accelerations, everything maxed out. Every single rating is maxed out to 99. Even the ratings that shouldn't matter at all, like pass blocking, it's all 99. The height is the only variable. And so that way we can really isolate that one variable and see truly how does height affect their speed. Now the other thing is that for this test, I have these players all in the wide receiver position running a streak route. These test results don't really apply to ball carriers in the open field. It's only going to be for players running a route, and in this case, a streak route. And I believe that is the full setup that we need, all the context that we need to show this experiment. And with that, I'm going to let the experiment play, and we will take a look at what happens. So you can see I line them all up at the 50-yard line, and if we freeze frame it as they all, at least as the tall player gets to the goal line, you can see that the taller the player is, the faster they covered the 50 yards. So the tall player is just about a step ahead of our normal height player, who's just about, you know, maybe another step and a half ahead of the short player. And I know these are not massive differences, but the reality is that all 3 of these players have 99 speed and 99 acceleration. And clearly, the taller player is going to cover those 50 yards a little faster. And so what are the applications for this? Basically, in MUT, at this time of year, pretty much all your skill position players, especially your wide receivers, they should all be 99 speed. And so when we're comparing 2 players, trying to figure out who should we put in our lineup, we have to start really nitpicking and looking at other attributes and just different factors to determine who we want in our lineup. And I definitely think that height, in addition to the fact that a taller player is obviously going to be able to have a larger range to catch the ball, I think that this is proof that you want a taller player in your lineup, because on a deep ball, he is going to get a little bit further downfield over the same time period than a shorter player. And so say, like, I don't know if anyone's still running Tyreek Hill, but compare like a Tyreek Hill to a Calvin Johnson or a Brandon Ayuk, who is someone that a lot of people use. 6'0" Brandon Ayuk compared to a 6'5" Calvin Johnson. Both at 99 speed, Calvin Johnson on a streak, he will get at least a step further down the field than Brandon Ayuk. And in Madden, where every inch matters in terms of whether or not an animation will trigger or whether or not a defender just barely swats the ball away, you want every inch that you can get. And so I think this test right here absolutely shows that a taller player is going to run a little bit faster. But when I say run a little faster, it's not quite that. Because what happens, and this is the same thing we saw in Madden 20, the separation almost entirely occurs in the first 10 yards. So right here, I'm going to pause it real quick. The first 10 yards, you can see that we already have that same separation that we saw at the goal line. So what's happening is the taller players with the longer strides, they are accelerating off the line faster, or really they're covering more ground on their strides off the line. And then once all the players are up to top speed, then they maintain that separation. So it's not truly that the taller player is running faster, but the taller player is covering more distance as he gets up to top speed. And so that's what causes the separation among the players. So I think this is very interesting, and you may not care. You may say, oh, that's just a couple inches, it doesn't matter. Well, like I said before, the reality is that football and Madden are games of inches, and every inch matters. And the other thing is that at this time of the year, we're getting into mid-June. I think that doing this testing, getting into the nitty-gritty of, just the really nitpicky details of comparing different attributes to different players, I think that's what's really interesting this time of year, because the different schemes and everything that we're developing are kind of winding down. I'm still working on my spread ebook, the free ebook on this YouTube channel. I'm still gonna put out more parts for it, but I feel like interest in that stuff is kind of dwindling. People are starting to look ahead to Madden 22, and so I think this is a really good time to do some experimenting and some testing and just kind of learn more about some of the finer details of the coding of the game. And so I think this is super interesting, and we can take this finding right here that taller players run a little faster, and we can do one more test with it, which I'm going to jump over to right now. All right, guys, so for this test, we're doing a side-by-side comparison of a modified Chris Godwin and a modified Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is 6'1", and I have put him with 99 speed, acceleration, everything. He's maxed out to 99 on all his stats, and Mike Evans is also maxed out to 99 on everything except for his speed, which is 98. So Mike Evans is 1 speed point less than Chris Godwin, but he has 4 extra inches on him. And so let's go ahead and run the test right now. Running a streak from the 50-yard line, you can see when we freeze frame it at the goal line that they get to the goal line at exactly the same time. Chris Godwin's toe is just hitting the goal line, and Mike Evans, he's at a different point in his stride, but his toe is already crossing over the goal line as well. And so you can see that despite Mike Evans having 1 less speed point, his 4 extra inches of height helped him cover that distance in the exact same time. So what are the implications of this? Let's say you're in regs and you have 2 receivers who you want to consider putting in your final wide receiver spot. And one guy is 6'4" and 90 speed. The other guy is 5'10" and 91 speed. And you may be inclined to say, well, I want the 91 speed guy because he is just faster. Well, the reality is, at least on streak routes and deep post routes and things like that, the 6'4" receiver is actually going to cover that distance a little bit faster than the 5'10" receiver. And this test is the proof right there, that 4 inches is approximately equal to 1 speed point. So that is just a little equation that you can keep in the back of your mind when it comes to comparing different players. Like I said before, I know this is pretty narrow in scope, but I find these tests extremely interesting, and I'm happy to do more tests if you guys enjoy this kind of video. So whether that's testing different player attributes or player traits or different abilities, I am down to test all of it if that's what you guys want to see. So if you do, let me know in the comments below what you want to see tested, and for the rest of the summer, we will definitely jump onto testing all these things out. But as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe button because it's the best way to help me out as a creator. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you have a great one, and I'll catch you in the next video.